So this video is on you living in your power to make the differences that you want to make in the world consistently. It is on living as a creative force. Now, I've called the video, Are You a Super Creator? But don't know it yet. I'm going to answer that for you at the end of the video. Before I do, we need to define what we're talking about here. What are we talking about in terms of creating, being a super creator, these kind of things? This is especially important to define, I think, because everybody's a creator these days, right? Creating content for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Anybody that puts stuff out on social media seems to label themselves as a creator. And I'm not knocking people that do that. That is creating. It is bringing stuff into the world. This is the essence of creating. But I'm talking about something quite different here. When I talk about being a creator or living as a creative force, I'm talking about living in your power to consistently make the differences that you want to make in your world. Okay? And I mean that in a variety of domains, not just in some kind of restricted sense. Now, some people are naturally good at this. Some people are naturally good at showing up in the world powerfully and making the differences they want to make. In a sense, you could say they've been bequeathed a creator's operating system, right? More by luck than anything, as they grew up. Okay, when we grow up, we come into the world with no power. We're just babies, we've got reflexes, we've got a grasp reflex, we've got a suckle reflex, we've got no power. Because we've got no map of the world, we've got no model of the world, no understandings about how anything works, and no motor control either, right? No power. So when we go from being a baby to being an adult, we're on a journey of no power to some power, right? So as an adult, the aim is that we are able to make differences in the world, to bring ourselves to bear upon the world and get stuff happening so that we can stand on our own 2 feet and do what we want to do in the world. Now, not everybody gets exposed to the same quality of sense making as they grow up. So some people are very fortunate. They get bequeathed a legacy of sense making capital, so to speak, that puts them in their power to make the differences they want to make. Some people less so, but that needn't be a problem. If you're thinking, well, I think I'm in that latter category, I think I haven't got lucky, then it's not necessarily a problem. Okay, and this is what being a super creator is about. So let me return to this term creator again and how it can sometimes cause confusion. And we want to clean this confusion up so that you can make use of this. So this video is sponsored by the forthcoming webinar, Super Creator Fundamentals Live. This is a free webinar running Sunday, July 17th, 8 p.m. London time. I'm going to be unpacking for you what I consider to be the fundamentals of becoming the primary driving force, primary creative force within your own life. If this is interesting to you, check out the link in the About section or the card that pops up, and I look forward to engaging with you live on the call. Many years ago, I was invited to speak at Interesting Talks London. A guy called Matt Kendall used to curate this event. Matt, if you're watching this, hi, it's been a long time. And sadly, he doesn't run the event anymore. It was a fantastic event, but I got asked to speak on one occasion. I'd spoken there before. Matt said, look, it'd be great to have you back. Come along, speak about whatever you want. What would you love to speak on? I said, I'd love to speak on living as a creative force. And Matt said, well, yeah, you could do, but we had somebody coming along and doing a talk on creativity just recently. And here's something I want to clear up. Creativity and living as a creative force or being a creator, these are not the same thing. Okay, somebody could be very creative. They could be sitting there doodling, and I guess they're creating on some level, but they're not really making a difference out there in the world. Somebody could be very creative in their own mind, coming up with all sorts of ideas and possibilities. You know, I knew a guy who wrote an entire novel and then binned it. Okay, had the first draft done and decided it was no good and then threw it away. Okay, so this guy was creative. Wow, was he creative? But he was failing in being a creator. And he was failing in being a creator because he wasn't able to make that difference out there in the world. Okay? Now, this is a really interesting thing. You're either rising up or you're lying low. You're striding forward or you're hanging back. So this guy who was highly creative and created this novel, right? But didn't. He held himself back. Okay? He destroyed that creation by creating something else. What he did is he created self-doubt in his mind. He created hesitation. He created playing small. And so he didn't take what he created so far and stride out into the world and take it to the next level. He held himself back. Now, here's the interesting thing. That holding back, that too is an act of creation. It is a creative act. We don't know it, but holding back, playing small, insecurity, these sorts of things, they have a recipe. They have a recipe behind them. There is a thought flow behind them that creates them. And if we are doing it, we are the creator of that. So, we're all creators, okay? But we're creators with a small c, not creators with a capital C, because we create whatever we get. We create hanging back if that's what we're doing. We create it. We create striding forward if that's what we're doing. We create it. So we're all creators with a small c, but we're not necessarily creators with a big C or super creators. So what is a super creator? A super creator is somebody who finds their way into their power to make the differences where they need to. So it's very easy for us to look out in the world and go, I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that, I'd like to change this, I'd like to change that. But the real question is, who are we being? I've talked about this recently, the be, do, have model. Who are we being? What are we creating from the inside that's going to come out? So this is what a super creator is. A super creator is somebody who not only creates in the world, but they recognize that they will create according to who they are being, what they embody, and they recognize that they can be the creator of that too, that they are the creator of that too. So while we can create holding back, we can also create striding forward, okay? While we can create fear and limitation, we can also create expansiveness and possibility. I want to add a note in here just to highlight that when I'm talking about creating, when I'm talking about difference making, I'm not necessarily just talking about obviously creative things like building businesses or artworks or making movies and stuff like this, writing books. I'm not necessarily just talking about these things. Living as a creator means looking at the differences you want to make in every domain of your life. So you might just want to create a shift in a relationship, for example. You might just want to change the dynamics within your family, this kind of thing. This is all within the remit of the creator and the super creator. You decide the difference you want to make and you get busy making that difference, but you make sure that you are able to come from the place that enables you to engage as you need to make that difference. So this all starts from the inside out. I talked about the be, do, have model recently. This is such an important model for me. It's behind all the coaching that I do. I do transformative coaching. Why? Because I want to help people become who they need to be to create the results they want to create. Because it's hard if you ain't being who you need to be. If you're lying low when you want to rise up. It's hard. You can try and force yourself, push yourself, but it's hard. The super creator is somebody who recognizes this. Not all super creators are equal. There's a path of mastery with this. I don't claim to have mastered this, by the way. I've spent years, decades, learning to master my mind, developing skills so that I can more effectively create what I want to create in the world. Okay? Spent a long time doing this. Am I a master of it? I'm as good as I am. I'm a lot better than I used to be, but not as good as I'm going to be. I'm learning all the time. Okay? But being a super creator, like, you up your game with this. When you start learning everywhere that you can make a difference, you can always bring into the foreground where you can make a difference. Okay, this is a powerful habit of the super creator. Like a lot of people will bring into the foreground everywhere they can't make a difference, and they put into the background everywhere that they can. Super creators do this the other way around, and they see more and more and more about what's possible for them. Okay, so you might look at yourself on a variety of different levels. You might look at the sense you make, the beliefs you hold about yourself, the capabilities you have, your habitual behaviors, all of this kind of stuff. I'm going to suggest to you all of this can be transformed, can be changed. Now, is it easy? Not necessarily. It can be. You can make some rapid gains, and sometimes you want to deepen the skill. And this is something that I am going to be doing a lot more stuff on. I want to up my game, offering support and mentoring to people via this channel and via other means as well. For you, if you want to up your game, if you want to transform yourself, if you want to be the person that is creating the life that you want, to live as a creative force, to be fully the super creator that you can be. If this is an interesting idea to you, then please be aware that on Sunday the 17th, just a few days from now, 17th of July at 8 p.m. London time, I'm going to be running a free webinar looking at super creator fundamentals. Okay, so if you're looking to up your game as somebody who can make those differences you want to make consistently in the world, I'm going to talk in that webinar about the kinds of things, the kind of skills, the kind of attributes, the kind of understandings you want to start embodying so as you can become that person. Okay, so this is a free webinar. You're going to need to register if you want to get on this. There's only 100 places available live, so it's going to be first come first serve on who gets in live. If you register and you don't get into the room live, there will be a replay available, though obviously you won't get to ask questions, you won't get to engage in the kind of Q&A section of it. But if that's something that's interesting to you, you will find a link in the about section. I'll put a pop-up on the cards on the video as well. And if you like this video, if you're curious to know more about living as a creative force, developing yourself to be more effective at making the differences that you want to make in the world, then please do like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notifications bell, and make use of the comments section to ask any questions that you want to ask about difference making, living as a creative force, being a super creator.